Hi, hello, welcome to a brand new reading vlog. For me it is Monday, for you it is Sunday. Hi, welcome to a brand new reading vlog here on Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and today it is reading vlog number 35? I'm pretty sure. Almost certain it's reading vlog 35. I have a stack of books behind me. I have other books I need to go and grab in just a moment. I'm going to take you through my reading this week. If you're new here, take a moment and subscribe. It's very exciting to have you. Hi. I finished a whole bunch of books this weekend, as you may see. So the last time that I spoke to you, I was halfway through Mexican Gothic, and I did finish that while the vlog was uploading, and I absolutely loved it. If you have already read this, then you already know how good it is, and if you are on the fence about it, I will just add my name to the huge number of people who have recommended reading this because it is so good. So good. I am not a horror reader, and I didn't like Gods of Jade and Shadow a huge amount. I might go back and reread it. But this really tickled my fancy. It's really well done. The atmosphere is great. The building tension is wonderful. The resolution is really good. I really, really liked this. I'm not surprised because so many people recommended it to me. It would be weird for them to all recommend something that I didn't like. But I am pleased with how much I really enjoyed this. So yes, would recommend. And then I was having a really bad allergic reaction on Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I was not having a good time and I just wanted to lie on the sofa and read, which is, you know, pretty much the best case scenario for feeling rubbish. So I actually finished 4 other books. None of them are very long, which is why there are 4 of them. So I finished... What order did I do it in? This order. I finished 3 books from my Last Chance TBR, which you can go and watch if you want to. I finished City of Ghosts and Tunnel of Bones, which are books 1 and 2 in V. Schwab's Casty Blake series, and I was on the fence about whether I was going to hang on to these. I actually am going to keep them. I might unhaul I can't say it. I might unhaul Tunnel of Bones later on. I haven't quite decided. I might see how the next book goes. I am going to hang on to City of Ghosts because actually I really enjoyed it the second time around. I thought it was well done. And while I don't think I'll be purchasing the later books in the series, I will probably try and read them in some way, shape or form. So I read those 2, and then I read, also from my Last Chance TBR, Night Flights by Philip Reeve, and this is a set of 3 short stories, I believe. Yes, 3 short stories featuring a character from the I always want to call it Mortal Instruments, but that's Cassandra Clare, the Mortal Engines series, which I read and really, really enjoyed. And this is very lovely, a really nice collection of short stories, and I love the cover and I love the little hardback, so unsurprisingly I will be hanging on to this as well. This doesn't bode well for the Last Chance TBR because I cannot hold on to everything from that. There is not room on the shelves, so I'm going to have to be more strict with the other books. But I am hanging on to those 3. And last thing that I read this weekend was Upright Women Wanted by Sarah Gailey. This was a 5-star novella. I absolutely adored this. I mean, is anyone surprised? It's the future South in America, and it's so queer and so wonderful and just a great book. And I read it on the day that Biden won the election, and it was just very, very good feelings all around. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I appreciate novellas are stupid expensive, especially if you buy them physically. And then, but if you do have the capacity to read this, I 100% recommend. That does, however, mean that I now am confirmed that I need to read pretty much everything Sarah Gailey has written. So that's a project for the future. I am tantalisingly close to the end of my TBR, and I've just decided this is the week I'm going to do it. I haven't requested anything on NetGalley for a while. I'm not intending to. This week, I finished my TBR. I have 3 books left. I have Raybearer, which I have on Kindle, which I am 40% of the way through, and I'm loving. It's so good. It's been a while since I read a new YA fantasy, and I am very much enjoying it. It is very, very good. I then have on NetGalley, I have Fable by Adrian Young, which I'm hoping to read this week. That was a recent approval, so very excited to read that. That doesn't come out till January, so we'll be holding off on the review, but I can tell you my first impressions of it. And then I have Legendborn, is the last physical book on my TBR currently. Ooh, very exciting. I do still have rereads and a few loans that I need to finish, but my actual books I own that I have not read is down to 1 physical book. I believe I can do it. I think if I just push myself. The other thing I need to read this week is Animorphs 12 or Animorphs 13. I think it's Animorphs 12. And then I also need to reread Song of Wraiths and Ruin for Secret Project. Looking forward to that as well. 2, 3, 4, 6 books, one of which is an Animorphs book, so it won't take long. I think I can do that. Maybe not by Saturday morning, but definitely by Sunday. That'll be fine. Yeah, be great. But I want to focus on finishing my TBR first, because I definitely, if I don't pull that off this week, I'm gonna be cross with myself. Other than that, I am back at work. I was blissfully on holiday last week, despite not going anywhere. I am back at work. I am vaguely processing the fact that my contract for this job ends in January, so having to sort of start thinking about what I do next, which is in some ways very freeing and some ways quite, that's kind of where my brain is at this week. But I'm just trying to stay positive and light and retain some of that good mental energy from last week. And I think it's going to be good. As you can see, it's getting very, very grey and dark outside, which is a sign that I need to get back to work in like 10 minutes. So I shall speak to you tomorrow. Sheer glamour. Hi, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday for me. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I don't know why I always ask how you're doing. You can't answer me, but I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday through the internet and time travel. I have finished 2 books since last time we spoke. That's right. I only have 1 book left on my TBR, but we'll come on to that. Let's talk about what I finished. In early evening of yesterday, I finished Raybearer. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I was about to say I've not read a YA in a while. That's not true. I've read a lot of YA recently. I've not read a new YA that I loved in quite some time. And I think it's a combination of it genuinely is a really, really good book. It's really fresh. It's really well done. The characters are done really well. The plot's interesting. The magic is cool. But also I think I'm finally coming out of that YA slump. Maybe. I'm trying not to jinx it, but I think I am. Because after that, I read and finished Fable by Adrienne Young. Now, I read her other book, The Girl the Sea Gave Back. I want to say it was last year. It might have been this year, but I have a feeling it was last year. And I thought it was okay. I wasn't wild about it. I didn't love it. And I don't know if Fable is just more my speed or another reason, but I thought that was very good as well. I'm going to try and do a review for both of them, but the Fable review won't be up till probably January because it doesn't come out till the end of then. But if you haven't pre-ordered that and you think you're going to like it, it's a pretty solid book. I enjoyed it greatly. It's about a girl called Fable who, you start the book and she's dredging, which is kind of like diving for crystals on this terrible island, and she has to get off the island and go and try and find her father who abandoned her there. And it's a lot of seafaring, and frustratingly I have already filmed my seafaring books recommendations video, or I probably would have added it to that. Never mind. So yeah, two wins, which is really, really good. Stop creaking. I have yet to start Legendborn, which is the last book on my TBR currently. So I haven't started this partly because I haven't had time. I finished Fable this morning, and also because the font is absolutely tiny. Let's go to a page that isn't going to spoil anything for you, the prologue. It's incredibly small font. Incredibly small. I want to wait till I know I'm not going to get eye strain reading it. So I'm going to try and pick that up later this evening, maybe with the employment of a good lamp, and then I still have Song of Race and Ruin and Animorphs, and I think I had another thing I wanted to read, but honestly I can't remember. So yeah, some good things lined up. I'm feeling pretty positive about them. After that, I am going to throw myself into the rest of my November TBR, and then the rest of my Last Chance TBR, and then there shall be book buying and there shall be book obtaining from other locations. I haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do because I've probably talked about this before, so if this is very boring, skip ahead. But I would normally be like, okay, now is the time to really invest in my local library, but it's shut at the moment and I don't know if we're going to be one of the places that can be opened for click and collect library books. So that's a bummer. And I've kind of read everything I want to read from the online library, barring a few exceptions. So they might have new stuff on there, but they don't put a lot of adult fantasy on there. If you do any kind of book subscription-y kind of thing, let me know in the comments below, especially if you are a person who reads a lot, because I am aware that Scribd will probably not be able to handle, I know you said all of this jelly, but like reading-based jelly. I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood today. And if none of that works out, then I will just, until the libraries reopen, read everything on my shelves again, because I like the books that I have. And I'll quite happily reread them, and I've got a whole Kindle worth of like 3 years worth of NetGalley reads, some of which I have completely forgotten. So there's not a shortage of books in my life. It's just what I want to do about it, I guess. This was helpful for me, it probably wasn't helpful for you. If you skipped ahead, welcome back. So So I am going to get to work. I'm back to work. I have to go for a run this afternoon, and then I will be reading in the evening, and all shall be well. Fabulous. Hey, it's Wednesday, Judith here. I have a quick reading update for you before I have to go to a meeting. Joy of joys. I quite like lunchtime check-ins. I'm glad that this is my routine. I think it's working. I am 243 pages through Legendborn, and I am absolutely loving it so far. It is, I'm tentatively saying it now, obviously I'm only halfway through, but it is kind of what I wanted. Are they called Mortal Instruments? The Cassandra Clare books, City of Bones? Ghosts? I think it's Bones. It's kind of what I wanted that to be at the moment, with like some extra added cool stuff involved. I'm very much enjoying it. I will have more to say and maybe go into what it's about maybe tomorrow when I've got a bit more brain space on it. My TBR went up is the other thing. In my defence, I requested this book quite a long time ago and I did not think I would get approved for it, but I got approved for The Mask Falling on NetGalley, so I will be reading that as well. And I think what I'm going to do is read Legendborn, then read Song of Wraiths and Ruin, then read Animorphs. I'm just going to say I'm going to do it. And hang the consequences, I guess. I'm feeling very powerful at the moment. I'm feeling very on top of my game. And that's a good place to be, and I don't want to sell myself short. I can do that. I can read 4 books in 3 days. When I say it out loud, it sounds stupid. And I have 5 more minutes before my next meeting, so I'm going to try and read another chapter. Hey, it's Thursday. I don't really feel like vlogging. I'm kind of tired. I just wanted to let you know that I finished The Mask Falling, so technically I finished my TBR. This is the moment that I did that. I'll be more excited about it tomorrow. I haven't actually looked at the clip I shot yesterday yet, but I remember filming it when I had a really bad headache and I wasn't feeling so great. So if you haven't seen a clip from Thursday, it is because it was weird and I did not include it. I don't know. Hi. Yeah, I finished my TBR. Done. Amazing. I put lipstick on. It's not because I want to look particularly fancy. I got this shirt on eBay and I put it on this morning and I was like, great, gonna look like a pirate, very excited for it. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh no, I look like... It's still Pirate Connection, but I really felt like the kid in the Muppets Treasure Island. Like, I was just gonna be leaning out of my windows with my rat friend, being like, there's gotta be something better than this. So I put some lipstick on and now I kind of look like still that boy but with lipstick on, and I'm cool with it. It's a look. But yes, TBR, done. Very exciting. I was having a chat with my wife yesterday about like what constitutes a TBR, because she sort of went, but you still have books to read. And I was like, yeah, this is true. And yet, so I count my TBR that I track as books that I own that I have not yet read and outstanding review copies, and that is at 0. So I do have 3 books that are loans, and then obviously a few library books and rereads that I plan to read this month. But my TBR, as it were, is 0. I know it's confusing and complicated, but if I don't decide that that's where the end is, then I never reach the end, and that's just depressing. So, where would I have left you? I finished The Mask Falling, that's what I did, and I was about to say I really enjoyed it. I found it very compelling. I whizzed through it. It was very, very interesting to read, very exciting to read, very dramatic, a lot of emotions. And I think if you're looking for whether or not you should read it, if you have read the rest of the Bone season, you're probably going to read this anyway. There are 3 other books in that series. So if you've already read those and you want to know what you're getting going into it, I think it is one of the stronger books in the series. This leans a little bit more towards the Mime Order. There's a bit more world building in there because we get to see a lot of Cy and Paris. So there's that, but I think it will depend. And I've talked about this probably in the vein of Robin Hobb books, that I have a certain amount of tolerance, and a lot of it depends on my mood. I have a certain amount of tolerance for bad stuff happening to characters, and my preference is for the bad stuff to be pretty much equally balanced with good stuff, and then it ends on a good stuff. That's just where I am. I like a happy ending. I don't mind bad things happening to a character because I understand that's how plot works. I don't want just a book where everything's great the entire time. But I personally like a lot, at least even good to bad ratio. This book probably is more 90% bad things happening to the characters, to the point where I think Samantha Shannon might just hate Paige, because she really doesn't catch a break for most of this book. I don't think that's a spoiler. She's not caught a break in most of the other books, so it's not unfamiliar, but it's the thing that Katie really noticed when she read the series. She did it by audiobook, and her main comment was, is Paige ever not being punched in some way, shape or form? And when you read it with that brain on, it's really noticeable. Like, she is just always in some way being harmed, and this book is no exception. That doesn't mean I don't think it was a very good book, but I think if you are in the mood for something happy, don't read this. Or if you are in the mood for something where it will, like, be cathartic and have a resolution, also not this. We're in the middle of a 7-book series. It's not that surprising. But yeah, I'm bummed that that's what it is. I'm bummed that I now have to wait, 3 years for the next one. It's going to be a time. It's going to be a long time. And by that point, I'll have forgotten what happened anyway, so that's probably okay. I probably will film a full review for it because I've read the other 3 recently enough that I think I can sum up my feelings a bit better. But in the meantime, before that review comes out, those are my thoughts. I have finished Animorphs 12, that's read, scripted, video will be coming out. Might even be Monday or Thursday of next week. I need to film it and edit it, and if I don't have time, I'll put something else in there. Animorphs tend to be about a 3 or 4 star for me. This one was entertaining. They all are entertaining. You'll hear more about that in that video. If you want to catch up on my Animorphs playlist, I will link it. And I am 50 pages or so into Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which is the last book I need to read this week. And I am liking it so far. I think it's going to be a really good reread. I don't have much more to add at this point. I haven't placed an order for any books, I haven't bought any books. I am currently waiting on some job things before I spend any kind of big money on anything. Tentatively excited for things, but hopefully, I might be able to update you on that. I don't know how many people care about what I do for a living. Right, okay, cool. I've blithered for long enough, and I told myself that if I came on and I vlogged and it was vaguely coherent, then I could finish the chocolate donut. So I'm gonna go finish the chocolate donut now. This is low-key me testing if it's bright enough to film in here. I think the answer is no. Maybe we'll wait half an hour before I film Animorphs. Hi, it's Saturday morning, bright and not that early. Hi. What's happened since I last spoke to you? I did some editing on this vlog, which is good because it's reminded me that I actually need to tell you what I thought about Legendborn. Whoops. I am also 211 pages through my reread of, what's it called? Song of Wraiths and Ruin. I'm literally looking at it. And I'm enjoying it on a reread. So far, I haven't had a moment of, oh, that didn't make sense before, and now it does. But I think that's going to come later in the more competition-y bits. So this is a YA fantasy with a competition. It's dual point of view. There's a boy pretending to be somebody he's not. There's a girl pretending to be something she's not, and trying to also become what she's meant to be, and all of that good stuff. I've read it before, I enjoyed it the first time, I'm enjoying it the second time. Not much more to add at this stage. Let's talk about Legendborn, which is behind me, so I'm not going to grab it, but I really, really enjoyed reading it. The paperback font is tiny, and that was an off-putting thing, but that has nothing to do with the content of the book. I thought it was really good. It's incredibly tropey, but also does a lot of different things with those tropes, or does things that the books that are known for those tropes fall flat on. It's an incredibly diverse book. It's got queer characters. It talks a lot about privilege connected to old universities, which I thought was really, really interesting. There's a lot in the author's note about grief and about where she drew her inspiration for the magic from that I thought was really, really interesting. And it's one of those things where at surface level, it is an incredibly tropey book. There's this like delightful white boy love interest who you'd find in every single YA book from the last 5 years. All of that good stuff, but all of that stuff that I think sometimes you read YA to enjoy, like, let's be honest. But what this book has also is real discussion of genuine issues and a perspective on this that we haven't necessarily had as often in YA. And on top of that, it's just a really fun book. Like, there's some really difficult stuff happening in it and some really emotional things going on, but also it's like tropey good YA goodness. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 5 stars, which is, you know, I can't really go higher than that, can I? I will definitely be reading other books in this series. I will definitely read more from the author in the future. And I think I would definitely say this is one of the better YA King Arthur books. I mean, they are all kind of cheesy, but this one is one of the good ones. So hooray, I was hoping it would be. It is, as you can maybe tell by just the general lighting and the fact that I've had to come like this close to my window, it is a horrible day outside. Just horrible, and I need to go running in it later. And I'm not excited about that fact. I'm just looking at the rain bouncing off the top of the wheelie bin that sits outside my window like, oh no, I don't want to go. But yeah, I'm going to try and get some more light in here. It's just going to be too yellow if I turn the overhead light on. Maybe I'll have to find my ring light and set that up. But then, glasses and ring lights. If you know the struggle, you know. So, in any case, I've had a really good reading week. I'm going to close up the vlog now. I've had a really good reading week. I finished my TBR, and I know that I may not have seemed like super excited about it, and I think it's because it's sort of a not real thing to finish your TBR. That you will never have read every book in existence. But I am really proud of myself for doing it, for the not book buying, for the reading the books I have. I'm really happy about that. I always feel like I should caveat I have a small TBR stuff with I only started like book reading, book buying, book blogging and stuff 4 years ago now, and in that time I haven't been a very big book buyer because a lot of the time I was saving up for a wedding or, you know, other things. So just book buying isn't a thing that I do super much. Really what got me to the finishing point was just reading more, reading more than I brought in, you know. You get it. Basically, if you have an enormous TBR, I'm not suggesting that it is feasible to finish it, and I'm not suggesting that that is a goal everyone should have, but for me it was one, and I have met it. Will that do? I just never want to come off as a wanker. So yeah, I've read a lot of really good stuff this week, like really, really fun, nice, good stuff. A lot of YA, which is nice. As I say, I think I'm coming out of that YA slump, and I have exciting stuff coming next week, which I'm looking forward to starting. I'm going to go finish editing this vlog. I'm going to maybe read a little bit more of Song of Wraith and Ruin, and then we'll see what the sunlight quota is, and maybe I'll film Animorphs today. Comment below as ever, please let me know what you've been reading this week. I would love to know. You can also, while you're down there, if you haven't already, you can follow me on all of my social media. You can subscribe because it makes me feel loved and appreciated. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. And I actually think I am going to keep them. I might unhaul Tonal Bonds. Hey, I think I'm good. Oh, that's way too high up. There's gotta be something better. Something better. I love that film.